Awesome. So welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today I'm really excited about today because today we're talking about being impeccable with your word. I started reading the four agreements again, and I love that is the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. And being impeccable with your word doesn't just mean giving your word to other people and keeping your word to them. It means first and foremost keeping your word to yourself. And I think that's where most of us fall short is we're so apt to give our time, our effort, our commitment to someone else, including our pets, and we forget to do it for ourselves. And I was actually talking to my physical therapist about this with medicines, how you could, tell your get medicine for your spouse or your child or your pet, and you're going to take that sucker, religiously. You're going to be giving it to them and reminding them and saying, hey, don't you need to take your pills consistently? But when it comes to us taking our own medicines or taking care of ourselves, we fall short. We don't keep and honor that commitment to ourselves. And I think, like, probably before we even really get into discussion, I just would like to ask everybody your opinion. Why do you think that we don't keep our word to ourselves? Why do you think that is? Or why do you think you don't keep your word to yourself? Does anybody have any ideas or opinions? Everything's welcome, no wrong answers.
No. For me, it is probably because
Well,
I think my whole life I'm in that education mode. So, or I call it right now, I call it clearly research and development throughout up to my 50s right now. So that is my issue for sure. That I change the strategy. I go and find something different, and yeah, that's exciting, and I really spend a lot of time on plowing towards that, and uh, and sometimes yeah, the other tasks or other items are falling off because I'm concentrating on maybe two or three tasks per day that I absolutely need to execute because that's what I see from the strategy, and other stuff is getting less important. At least that's my take on that. But it's
So too
just
many too many things at
happens.
once
Yeah.
on your plate.
and I
Uh,
think it depends on what you're actually not keeping the commitment to yourself with. Like, for example, some people are able to get up and go to a job every day, so they can keep that commitment. Some people can't do that. Some people will get up and go to their job, but they won't work out as well as go to their job. So I think there are levels of commitment that people will keep for themselves, and then they will fall off, like to your point, like taking medication or exercise or what have you. Oftentimes people will do things that I think society deems necessary in order to function in a normal environment. But if it's just a personal thing that you would like to do or accomplish yourself, I think oftentimes that's where people will, it's a nice to do, but they don't keep that commitment to themselves. It's a
Mhm.
really interesting question, because I made a commitment over to myself over the weekend. So I'm on day three. So far, so good.
How cool! That's so serendipitous. I love it.
And it was something simple. So for me, in order to be more productive, I want to get up earlier, but I'm very nocturnal. And I'm sure I was a vampire in my last life and I could stay up all night.
I love it.
So for me, it's being in bed by 9 and not asleep by 9, but settling down and stopping my screen time, putting my phone away. There's no television in my room, but that's the biggest thing for me because I've always been very nocturnal,
Mhm.
is to just shut it down early so I can get up early so I can keep my commitment to everything else I want to get accomplished. So, day 3, talk to me on day 28. So we'll see how that goes.
Nice.
so Sherry, is there like a challenge that you're taking to have, you know, so many hours of sleep?
Well, so now here's the thing. I am still trying to launch my business, my first business. So my business is called the Art of Business Networking, and I'm just looking to do the basics, like get my lead magnet out there, basically get my launch date set, if you will. And because I work a full-time job and I spend a lot, I work at a tech company, and I back to Kat's point, I commit to my company and working all of those hours for my day job. And so I just needed to carve time out in the evenings and on the weekends to work on my own business. And so I just needed to have more sleep I just needed more rest in order to get that done. So really, Andy, it's just so I can just get my first product launched or my first lead magnet out there and go through all of the steps in the business system and get that all completed. And also working at a minimum of 10 minutes of exercise, which is not much. But if I can get 10 minutes in, I can get 30 in.
Mhm.
So it's just keeping
Right.
that
A
commitment.
lot of times it's
Yeah,
just getting started, right? Or
exactly.
getting to the gym or whatever.
And then finally, and I know I've been talking a lot, but my last point is I had mentioned earlier this year. So a couple years ago, I read a book called The 12-Week Year,
Mm.
and I also signed up for that course earlier this year. And essentially, the book identifies just exactly what you said, Kat. Normally, it's not that we have a lack of a plan or a lack of anything, it's just a lack of execution. We just don't hold ourselves accountable. So it's just me holding myself accountable, but we'll see how it goes. Only on day 3, but so far, so good.
Nice. Does anybody else want to chime in?
Say
Hi,
the question
everybody.
again.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to hear the question repeated again.
Just why is it, do you think that we do not stay committed? Why don't we keep our word to ourselves?
Go ahead, CJ.
Lily, go
Hi,
ahead.
guys. I was just going to say that that's an awesome question. I love that, Kat, because I have this ginormous to-do list and I have multiple hats I wear. And I'm always going back and forth from one thing to the next. And I have these notebooks and I make it, I make the subject for each of my notebooks and I'm going back and forth. And part of what I'm really trying to commit to this month and next is starting my business and launching it. And I'll apply it to that aspect of my life. And part of what gets in the way of not committing to myself is that I think I don't know, like the first step for me is the hardest. I've started to do some work and then I get hung up and then I'm like, okay, where do I go? What do I do? Who do I talk to get past this roadblock? And then when I hit a roadblock, I put it aside and I go to the 5 other notebooks of 5 other areas of my life to get those task lists, shortened. And it just seems, and I have a hard time coming back to it. And I'm really glad I'm here. I missed the last 2 meetings because I was traveling. We went to Paris for the Olympics, which was a blast, by the way.
How
Um,
wonderful.
so sorry I missed the last 2 meetings, but I love this accountability group. And so my goal is to really commit to myself in my business and do this and not get hung up on a roadblock that hits me and then feel like, oh, I don't know, what do I do next?
Right.
So I think that's the biggest reason why I don't commit. I'm pretty good at committing to every other area in my life, except sometimes I'll get like overwhelmed and then like when it comes to cleaning or chores and I'm like, oh, I'll procrastinate on that because that's easy to do. But that's it's such a beautiful question because if we don't ask it, then we're not really taking a look at why. Why are we,
Absolutely.
procrastinating or why are we not committing? And I love that question. So thank you.
Yes. And we can't get better unless we shine the light of awareness on these things. I mean, that's if we're not actively asking these questions in times like this, then I don't want to waste anybody's time. This is valuable. We all have a lot to do. And I want to make sure that these meetings are productive and they're helping and they're causing you to question not only how you could have better habits, but what is it that you're doing that's keeping you from the success that you so desperately want? Because we all want something different. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. I mean, it's nice to have people to talk to and just bat things off of. But, this isn't just a fun meetup group to just chit chat. This is actually like accountability. This is like, how can we further ourselves in our business and in our lives to get what it is that we really want? So, Pam, I know you wanted to say, did you
Oh,
want to say something?
yeah, I do. I say not staying committed to myself would be operating out of fear instead of love, and loving myself enough to just go and do whatever it is, even if I fuck it up or don't know the answer, like CJ was saying, get stuck on something. Even if I get stuck on something, to just keep persevering, because I do that for other people. I help them, I support them, but turning it back around on myself, that's where I am working on being the cheerleader, being the techie person, being the support person, just being the one that just keeps going and going and going, keeps poking and poking, but myself. that's that's because I love myself and I want myself to succeed, just as I
Right.
want all the people that I know to succeed. And I put myself last on that list, and I just need to reverse that and put myself first on the list for a while, and not excluding other people. Obviously, you run down the list of stuff that you need to do, and you're like, today I need to really focus on me. Next time I'm like, wow, I see, my dog's having a difficult time with the stress of all the stuff in the living room, because there's a lot of stuff in that everything room to begin with, and he doesn't know what's going on. So spending a little time with him. So remembering to refocus helps, but always to remember, because I've had so many years of keeping myself last,
Mm,
reversing that and getting comfortable with me being first, so that at some point it just vacillates where it's needed.
yeah. I
So
think a lot of us have that habit of being last. And it's a perfect segue into kind of what I wanted to go talk about a little bit today. We have such a habit of putting ourselves last. With everything, everybody else's needs are first. Oh my gosh, I had to, go help this friend do that, or I had to help my church or nonprofit do this, or my dog got sick, or my kid had to get picked up from school, or like we have all these excuses as to why. And I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not saying they weren't valuable, to help somebody else. And of course we want to be of service. Of course we have a heart of service. I think that most people in the world do have that desire to be of service in order to feel significant and feel like we have a purpose, that we're living our purpose by giving and being the most of who we can be. But what happens is we forget to keep our word to ourselves. So every time we break our word to ourselves, it's like, a little cut. And that I remember hearing this phrase a long time ago, but the death by 1,000 cuts, like you're slowly bleeding out. It's not someone cutting you at your jugular. It's literally these little tiny wounds that we do to ourselves, these little tiny commitments that we make to ourselves. Oh, I'm going to drink more water. Oh, I'm going to quit smoking. Oh, I'm going to go back to the gym. Oh, I'm going to journal, or I'm going to make sure I'm reading every single day. And then we don't do it. And every time we don't, we're reinforcing that we are not worth committing to. And how can we expect other people to commit to us if we are not willing and able to commit to ourselves? Like, how are we supposed to believe that we are worthy of everything, and we can surmount these obstacles that come in our way? Because here's the truth is you've already overcome lots of obstacles to even get where you are now. You have already kept your word to yourself in certain areas of your life in order to have the progression that you have up until this point. So why are the most important things? Usually it's your health. That's usually the number one. Finances are another thing. Having the career at this point in your life, having the type of career or the type of business, the type of relationship, whatever it is for you, we somehow didn't honor our word. So whether we didn't honor our word to work, and every time that we do something, like even something as small as being late, if you say you're going to be in an appointment at 9 a.m. and you show up at what point did you break your word? At what point? Anyone?
So yeah, I'm going to chime in there. It's really interesting. Again, a great topic, but I will say that, and Andy, you can do the eye roll because my husband always does it when I start talking about the male versus female thing. He's like, "Oh, there you go again. It's a sexist." But I'm reading a book called "We Should All Be Millionaires," and she just pointed out. I'm listening to it for the second time. She pointed out though that really women are the ones that typically s- commercials and our family lives, society has set women up to help everyone else except help themselves. Commercials make us feel guilty about not being that person. So the example she used, she was like, "Are you that person that's making sure one person's sandwich has crust, the other person's sandwich, the crust is off the sandwich, the other person, they have gluten, the other person, they have this one, and then you're like rushing trying to get yourself out the door? Or are you that person who you work and your husband works, but then you're the one that's always doing dinner?" All she was saying is that as women, oftentimes society has set us up to be that caregiver and to look out for everyone else and put ourselves last. That's historically how things have been in society, that we were supposed to take care of our family, take care of our husband, take care of our pets, take care of our friends, take care of our relationships, and we put ourselves on the back burner. So I think as a female, like my husband with working out, he commits to working out and he goes to do it. I commit to working out and then something comes up and I'm going to stay home and clean the house, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. So I think sometimes it's the way society has trained us to behave, and we have to break those patterns as well.
100%. I mean, and it's not just our patterns, it's also ingrained in us. Like
Mhm.
we literally have nurturing in the feminine side of us. So the feminine side of us is about nurturing and taking care of other people and making sure that people have what they need, and feeding our children or pets or whatever it is, in taking care of people. But I mean, really what it comes down to is we're not taught, most of us, we're not
Mhm.
taught specifically how to make a commitment to ourselves and keep it. What does our word mean? Being honorable towards ourselves, like actually saying, you know what, my health is vitally important if I want to take care of other people. Like if I want to take care of my friends' sick kids, I can't be sick going over there to take care of them. I need to be in the best health I possibly can in order to go take care of somebody else that is sick, not only so I don't get them more sick, but I don't want to, you know, start coming down with something or catch whatever they have. So that's about me taking care of my immune system, making sure I am taking my vitamins and drinking enough water and getting body movement in. But my point to all of this is we always seem to put these excuses in front of what we truly want, and we forget what it comes down to. The number one thing, if we did this one thing, if we change this one thing in our lives, our entire life could completely change around. Because if we actually said, I am going to commit to going to the gym 5 days a week, and we actually did it, our health would change. If we said, okay, I'm going to cut back on sugar and I'm going to eat more fresh fruits and vegetables and fiber rich foods, our health would be different. So if we said, okay, I'm going to post every single day, I'm going to do a live stream every single day, or 3 days a week, or I'm going to write in my book, or I'm going to paint my painting, or I'm going to do my dance, or I'm going to, host my business meetings, whatever it is, we find ways to say, I'm not ready. A lot of it, like Pam said, fear is a lot of thing is something that stops us so many times, because what if nobody shows up? What if something goes wrong? What if I forget what I'm supposed to say? Again, how many times have you come up against something really hard and you have found a way around it? And I can't remember, I apologize if it was Sherry or CJ. I think it was Sherry that was saying when you hit a roadblock that you start to do something else. I apologize. I can't remember who said that, but like you do one thing, and when it starts to get hard, you put it down and you start to go around and do something else. So maybe rather than saying, I don't know how to do this, the question is, what's the next step? Because no matter what it is that we're working to accomplish, somebody else has done it before us. Somebody else has made a roadmap for us to get where we want to go. If we want to build a multi-million-dollar company, if we want to build a backyard, business, if we want to, be the best mom or dad or whatever it is, no matter what it is that we want to do, there's somebody that's done it before us, and there's somebody that has overcome even bigger obstacles than what we're dealing with. And we tend to forget that sometimes, remembering to have gratitude for everything that's going on in our lives, because there's people all over the world that right now would give anything to be where you're at right now. No matter where you think you are, no matter how hard things are, no matter how tough things have gotten, there's people around the world that would literally give everything to be in your shoes right now, to switch places with you. And so, and I love that. Denise said, that I often tell myself I can do hard things. And I started getting into that kind of mindset as well, that I used to say, oh, I don't know how to do this, especially with tech, like all the new tech coming up. And I would get so frustrated. And I remember back in the day, just wanting to punch my computer screen sometimes, because I'm like, why is this not working? Like, I don't get it, and I'm not a phone thrower because I don't want to break my phone, but damn, I want to huck my phone. There's times I just want to just throw it, but I'm not a thrower. So not electronics. I don't want to destroy my stuff. So I started saying something similar to Denise, where I can figure this out. I can do this. I can figure this out. I may not know how to do it, but again, knowledge is a learned behavior. So we think this knowledge is supposed to be innate. We think that we're supposed to turn our new phone on, our new iPhone 15 that we just got, that we don't have no clue how it works, and it's just supposed to be automatic. Well, no, there's going to be learned processes. There's going to be learned behaviors in everything that we're doing, from our work to our relationships, to our home life, to even dealing with our pets. These things come up and we're like, oh, I don't know what's going on with my dog's coughing and I don't know what to do. Well, there's somebody that does. And it's something that we can learn. It's knowledge to be obtained. And when we can get out of our comfort zones and go, you know what? I'm never too old to learn something. I haven't gone far enough in my life. And if we're not continuing to strive every single day throughout our lives, then what are we doing? Like I'm not in the mindset that I want to get to a point where I'm just retired. I retired in my 30s, meaning I now do what it is that I want to do. I made a decision in my 30s, and I'm 53 now, that I want to do what I want to do as often as possible. I want to be able to have the freedom to do what it is that I want to do as often as possible. And the thing is I'm going to challenge that maybe, just maybe, you have done that for yourself too. Maybe you are semi-retired already and you don't even realize it. You don't realize the freedom and the value that you have of being able to put time onto your business, being able to go and pick your kids up from school or take your dog for a walk or go to the gym if you want to, or change your eating habits if you want to. These are all freedoms. These are choices that we get to make. These are opportunities for us to realize that, man, I really do kind of get to call my own shots. And if you're in a job that you hate, I mean, why? Maybe it's something you like to do, but maybe the environment or your boss or your coworkers aren't conducive to your ultimate happiness or the most joy. Or maybe, again, you got to be careful about who you're talking to, because maybe are people in your life talking you out of your goals and your dreams, telling you it's too big, it's unrealistic. How are you going to get there? Aren't you too old? Why are you starting this now? Shouldn't you be winding down in your life? Why are you starting again? And asking those questions. I want to be around people that are saying, wow, look at you go. You get better you're like fine wine. You get better every day. You literally are striving for something new and different all the time. Your life is so exciting and so vibrant. You do so many cool things. I love hearing that. And I love having the support of people around me. But it's also about me believing that I'm worthy of having what I want in my life and being able to make choice. Because again, keeping my word to myself gives me more freedom. It gives me more opportunity for choice. If I kept my word to myself, with investing, ooh, that's a good one for me. I'm learning to be a better investor. If I would have kept my word to myself years ago, my investments would look completely different right now. I'm still proud of what I have. However, I know that they would look completely different if I would have put 10% of every single paycheck away and looked out for myself in that way. So, again, creating these habits is vitally important for our success. Keeping our word to ourselves is so important for our success. And we tend to be the first person that we're willing to break a word to. And again, that's something we just have to look at. It's just something to go, why do we do that? Like, why don't we put the significance on ourselves? Why are we running around trying to impress other people? Why aren't we trying to impress ourselves? Because any kind of joy, any kind of fulfillment, any kind of security comes from within. Your life doesn't get more secure because you get more money or a better business or a stronger relationship, or because every single one of those things can go away. Security comes from within. When you feel secure with who you are, when you can trust yourself because you know you can keep your word to yourself. When you give your word, it means something. So being impeccable with your word is one of the number one things that we can actually do and practice in order to become the best versions of ourselves and get what we want done every single day. If I would have kept my word to myself on everything, I would literally have the business that I've always wanted already. I wouldn't still be feeling like, oh man. And then when we break our word, it's like, now we start feeling we're behind the 8 ball. Because then we break our word here and then it's like, oh man, I got to get my reading in. So I didn't get my reading in this morning. I broke my word to myself. I didn't get my 20 minutes and I still got to do it. So now I'm starting the day behind the 8 ball. I'm starting the day at a lack because I didn't wake up and keep my word to myself. And we need some processes in place. We need some systems in place. We need some routines in place, because that is what's going to help us to create the habits. Waking up every day with gratitude rather than picking up this little guy. Waking up and just taking a few minutes and going, man, I'm so thankful that I'm alive today. I'm so thankful I'm taking a breath today. I'm grateful for, my vision. I'm grateful for my hearing. I'm grateful for this soft bed that I'm on, or the safe place that I was able to sleep last night, or, the money that's in my bank account, or the food that's in my fridge. And these things that sometimes we forget and we take for granted, that not everybody around the world has. So I would like to know what you think that your life would look like. I want you to future vision. What would your business look like when you keep your word to yourself fully, and you're fully committed, and you are impeccable with your word to yourself? What does that look like? Who do you look like? Who do you become? And I'd like to hear, like, from everybody, what does your business look like? What do you have? So I want you to go into the future, and starting today for the next 3 years, you keep every word, everything that you say you're going to do for yourself, you've done. What does your life look like now?
So, yeah, we know each other uh, probably good several months now, right? It's been since like mid of last year when that
I was
the
gonna say
elite
it's probably
program
coming on a year.
started. So I definitely seen the change in my behaviors from the perspective of I was always planner, prepper, strategist, and always had that in me to actually spend time to plan it. What I'm doing differently right now is small tweaks that I did not do before. I was not doing that proper planning. I was always thinking about the future, but I would not take those actions that I needed to move the needle every day. And I think that's where you're going with this, that we need to plan almost every day, and then from the perspective of not being do not negotiate with yourself that this is, oh, I'm gonna do it some other day. For me right now, it's waking up. I envisioned last year that I am gonna be home and be able to wake up when my daughter going to the last year of high school, so I can give her breakfast and do that stuff. That was something that I found from Dean, that he was talking about this. It's like, damn it, I never had the chance to do it. So now I'm doing this. That's how my day starts, and I love this, to the perspective that when there's other tasks that needs to happen, I see how I am kind of okay. Now I need to do it. No, it's not what I need to do. Now I really wanna do it because I never had a chance to do it, and I got one more year because she's gonna be out from the house next year. But I think it's also the for me it's obviously relationship, and the decision was made that we are taking splitting. So I still wanted to accomplish that big goal that I was planning, visualizing for a really long time, and I will do it one way or another. I really hope that nothing's gonna happen until the end of next year, that well, I'm gonna be kicked out from my home or stuff like this. But it is those are the issues that I am fighting, for example. But nothing really changed until I was consciously spending time when going to bed, or actually planning to go to bed, winding down, and making sure that you consciously looking at your schedule next day, and what you're gonna be doing. So it's like, I think it's more like that neuro-linguistic programming that you need to get into your head, that this is something that I want to do because I never had a chance to do it, and now I'm doing this. And I think that's gonna be quite helpful from that perspective. Just anchor that from your mindset perspective, that this is what you want to be doing, and I think that makes a big difference. But yeah, that's it's still stress. I think it's a I never had like money problem, but now I see, and like I mentioned last year, I was so happy that God bless her heart, my wife is working. Now I got time to to study and really look at the different coaching programs and maybe just go back to the being just a real estate broker or investor from instead of going back to another corporate job. So I did make that decision, and the environment that I am in right now tells me no. You go to work. Go working as a a driver for 20 hours. It's like, please just calm down from that perspective. I am, everything is done from the business perspective. Yeah, we obviously know that marketing is important and sales. So that's something that I had to learn over the last year or two. I've seen it from different perspectives, but now I'm executing my plans, and my plans were really, really big. And but I'm happy about it because now I'm finally talking about it with other people. I started to, that most uncomfortable thing that I did was to do that like YouTube show. I started that late, but it is happening right now. I'm finally doing some, live meetings with people. I go to my own like a accountability Facebook group live. It's great from that perspective to being able to contribute your kind of thinking knowledge to others. And for me, that was always bigger satisfaction. Like at corporations, coaching, if I spend time with a person that I've seen is coachable, if something, the person gonna be able to execute on those tasks, I would spend probably three time three more three more times to do it, so I can accomplish that goal for that person. And they do understand you know so they don't really beating themselves up like I did before. It was madness from that perspective, but I did not understood those concepts. I came from the family, that parents were working hard their whole life. There were really not many opportunities, and I see so many opportunities right now. So my squirrel mind as a business owner is like, okay, this is opportunity that I need to explore, and I'm jumping into it right away. But not every path is for everybody.
Right.
So I am also trying to see, where I'm gonna fall from that perspective, because everything is still like, juggling so too many things at the same time,
Yeah.
and really strategizing almost on a daily basis what the next day should bring. And that's more from that rapid planning method
Rapid planning. Yeah. The rapid planning method. Yeah.
uh, and that
Well,
was
and any kind of change does create chaos,
yeah, yeah.
so be prepared that when you say you want something and you make a determination to have it and you set an intention, things are going to start moving. The universe is going to start putting things in order and start giving you inspired thoughts. You're going to get inspired inspiration, and you're going to start having opportunities. And here's the thing is, if you decide you want to do something, the number one thing that we lack in actually setting a goal is knowing what it is we actually want. Like actually sitting down and going in detail, this is what I want. I want a relationship that looks like this with this person with these attributes. I want this amount of money in my bank account because I want to be able to have freedom. I want to travel. I want to do this. I want to be debt free. I want to do that. I want to have this type of vehicle with these kinds of features. I want to live in this type of home, or I want to rent this type of place, or whatever it is. We forget to actually really take the time to figure out what it is we truly want. And once we make a determination and say, this is what we want, and again, make the commitment to do it and set the intention every single day. And then, like Andy's saying, do planning ahead of time where you're like, okay, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing, this week to further my goal, and make sure every step that you're putting down is aligning with that one goal. That's what we tend to do. It's like, oh, we want this, we want to go to Oz, right? We got to follow the yellow brick road, but along the way there's all these other cool roads. We can go to Candyland, we can go over here to Willy Wonka's, we can go all these really cool places and stop along the way if we want to. We can go in the Blue Lagoon and go swimming. But wait a minute, what happened to Oz? What happened to getting to that Emerald City? We tended to veer off our path, and all of a sudden we wonder, how come I'm not in Emerald City yet? Well, I mean, it's okay if you want to stop and you want to play in the Blue Lagoon, but just remember, if you are not setting your goal, if you're not aligning everything with your goal, if you're not, everything that you're doing is not pushing you towards Emerald City, there's so many ways to be distracted. And that's why I really I would love to hear a future vision of where you see yourself. Where do you think that you would be if you kept your word to yourself, if your word was impeccable, if you kept your word on everything you said you were going to do, especially to yourself? What would your life look like? I just want you to guess. What would it look like? I want you to vision. I want you to be like a child, and I want you to dream. And I want you to open your brain right now. And I want you to just visualize, what would your life look like when you keep your word to yourself and you're impeccable with your word? What does your life look like? What opens up for you?
So the visualizing is absolutely powerful. I have to agree with this. But we have to allow ourselves, the time to do it, and for the proper planning. My path was, I still want to leave some kind of legacy. I think that's the most important thing for me. So I want to build something. I want to make sure that that others see me as a useful person and be
So
of
talk in the
service
present
to others.
tense, like so you're 3 years in the future. What does your life look like right now because you kept your word to yourself?
Well, it is, I am definitely, getting up like I wanted to be getting up, and doing quick burst of exercises, and do my like specific morning routine that I'm completing right now, and I'm happy about it, because what I understood from like UPW, it was like that retirement myth for me was, I was looking towards the retirement, sitting on my butt and drinking whatever and not doing anything. And that changed for me. I definitely need that fulfillment from what I'm doing. And I don't get fulfillment if I don't spend several hours during the day on that specific work. And the work that I'm doing right now, I feel like I'm finally getting into like a flow of
Nice.
of what I'm doing, because I always want to be in that flow, also at the corporations. And at one job, I was able to achieve that. In that last one, which was manufacturing place, there was no flow. There was distraction after distraction after distraction. I had the leaders were thinking completely different than I was from several different perspectives, and I did had some conflict there. So that is what definitely changed. And yeah, 3 years from now, I'm looking forward to be able to get up, doing some exercises, and have a practice where I can talk with people that I can help, which is small business owners, and really using the systems and strategies that I learned throughout my corporate life in their small businesses, because it's so easy to do right now with the technology and automations. But I also feel like this opportunity exists maybe for the next only 2 years, Because if I am not gonna do it, if I'm not gonna show those business owners how to use the systems and really, bring that company to the next level, well, yes, there will be other people doing
Somebody
that.
else will,
And
right?
and for me, this is kind of I don't want to lose that moment. I don't want to lose the next 2, 3 years of building something fun that is gonna leave some kind of legacy
Right.
from that perspective. And I think that's what like Dean and Tony are doing. They definitely want to leave the legacy. That's why they really want to
Legacy do you want to
set it up.
leave? I don't even hear the specifics. So I feel like impeccable with your words is not just holding yourself to your word, but the actual words that you use describing, because that helps define and refine what it is that you want. And like what Kat was saying of specific, what is your goal
Oh,
specifically?
so I built a mastermind for specifically for the business owners. I am doing still a lot of real estate investments, and next year I am building my starting my dream project. So my dream project was to acquire a big piece of land, and I'm gonna develop in phases. So that's what I'm doing, and I know that's my goal. There's a lot of moving pieces, and I'm happy to be talking with a lot of business owners that hopefully will find specific partners on those projects. I know how to find money partners, but now I want to find people that I can surround myself that will be working towards similar goal that I do have. So
Nice.
that's probably the trickiest thing, to really find those people that you vibing on the same level,
Right.
and they wanna achieve something that is gonna be working
The
not only
something.
for me but for others as well.
Wonderful.
I
So,
keep hearing generic words like something and the goal. And
I don't want to take too much time, guys. Everything is ready. I got glenviewmastermind.com, pureexperts.com. Everything is there already. So I also created like a growth platform connection for people that are surrounded by me, and now I'm just talking finally to the neighbors about it, and that was the most tricky part to me, to get out of my shell and be able to converse with others about my specific goals, about my specific perspective of what is gonna happen in 3 years or 5 years. So I know it's a lot of generic, but it's quite complicated. So I just don't want to be taking too much time here from that perspective.
all right. Well, I'd love to hear from somebody else. Just just again, future vision. Like, what's your future like, when you keep your word to yourself, when you're impeccable with your word, and you do exactly what you say you're going to do, and you honor yourself. I don't care what area of your life. I just want to know what do you see for yourself, for your life in the future, because you kept your word to yourself. And anyone can go.
Go ahead, Pam. I see that you have something to say, right? No? Well, so for me, I will say this. I think my life is going to look a lot like it does now. I Because it's going to be making a commitment to work out, making a commitment to get up in the morning, go to sleep. The biggest difference, I think, will be that I will have a business that has actually launched and that I'm earning. I want to start with increments, with earning the first 10,000, then earning 100,000, then getting it to $1 million business. But I think day to day, my life is going to look a lot the same because I prioritize what I eat, what I drink, those types of things. I have things in place, and I put most of the time when I put stuff on my calendar, I adhere to it. So I do adhere to my calendar a lot, and I do a lot of calendar blocking. Um, Andy, I have not visited your mastermind group though, but that is on my to-do list to visit your mastermind group next month in October. So for me, Kat, I think the biggest thing is launching my business and actually seeing a successful business launch because I've been delaying that for so long. So it's a thriving business, essentially.
Okay. Awesome. I love it.
And again, by thriving, 10,000, 100,000, and then 7 figures.
So I love that you have a specific, that's exactly what I was looking for is specifics, because you've got to define what that looks like for you. So does someone else, I mean, I'll go. I literally, because I have kept my word to myself, I am literally in the best shape of my life. I have toned in the way that I have always wanted to, and I feel very healthy. I have a thriving business where I am really making a difference in the life of others. I have my children's show where I am inspiring children, helping them to do meditations, helping them to be more calm and well adjusted, and having a smaller response to emotional issues. So I love my contribution to the world, and I love being able to travel and have my life exactly the way that I want it. So I'm really proud of my future. So I'm definitely committed to that.
Were you speaking of future, or were you speaking now?
That it's future, but that's all stuff that's already in progress. I would
Okay.
just have everything because I've already started the shows. I already have the children's books. I already have the social media set up. I already do live streams and put out content. I just want to do it more consistently. That for me is that's the key. For me, it's consistency. So it's not about putting out content. It's not about, it's just literally being consistent every single day. And when I was consistent, I wasn't organized. When I was organized, I wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
So now I'm just kind of getting everything in alignment so I can be organized. I can be proactive. I ask, how can I do this rather than why am I not able to, or get frustrated. And I tend to not beat myself up anymore. I mean, I'm not saying I never do, but I don't hold myself in a place of guilt or shame or what's wrong with you, or I don't beat myself up like that anymore. I think there's moments where I'm like, oh, that was dumb, but I let it go and use it as a lesson, something to learn from. So
Cool. I gotta run. I got 1 o'clock on my schedule. One thing about the scheduling, I started adding the buffers because I always had like hour meetings with people that I'm talking, and now I'm doing this 50 minutes is the max. I need that 10-minute buffer
I
between the
love that.
conversations. So just keep that in mind, because as you're gonna be talking with more people and scheduling more, more appointments, I feel like that is so critical, because it doesn't allow me to, decompress from one conversation to another, and I see that's how I'm hurting myself sometimes. So gotta run. Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good day.
Andy.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Have a good week.
Yeah, you too.
All right. So uh, either CJ, Lily, or Pam, you guys want to imagine what your life looks like when you're completely accountable to yourself? Something good?
Sure, I could go. So I've been thinking about this. So I am in the compiling, researching, and creating phase right now. And so in 3 years, I intend and I will, I'll just speak what I'd like. I am getting up, working out again, continuing to do that, have a meeting for business, and then my afternoon is fun. But I have it all set up where I'm doing public speaking. I already have over 10 million in revenue from my online business and course and masterclass. I am speaking at various events and my home is paid off. I'm dating somebody magical and wonderful and beautiful because I just went through a divorce. And I'm a business owner who is really doing what you said, Kat. I'm able to do what I want to do when I want to do it as much as possible because I have my business set up and functioning, and then I have people around me who help me keep it running.
I love it.
So that's kind of my thing.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and I mean that's what we should all be striving for is just having our life set up the way that we want it and what makes us happy, because only we know that. There's no therapist, there's no pharmaceutical, there's no person, there's no amount of money, there's no perfect job. There's literally nothing that's going to bring us the satisfaction and the love that we can find inside. And it's so important that that's why this commitment to ourselves and keeping our word to ourselves is so important.
Yeah, that's
So,
huge. And hey, I was going to ask you too, I missed the last 2 meetings and you mentioned in an email they were really good. Is there a way to get like the notes or a succinct copy of them or the video from the prior meetings, the last 2 meetings?
I don't know if last week was recorded. We didn't really have anybody but me and Pam on last week.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I don't think we recorded last week because we ended up just kind of having a chat session. But the week prior to that was fire. That one was good. That was probably one of the best ones that we've had in the content was fire. So I will it is in my school. I have a library of all the Zoom recordings, but I will make a note, and this is Lily, correct?
Or it's just, yeah.
Okay, so CJ, Lily.
Or CJ, yeah. Lily is my
Okay, so
daughter.
what I'll do is probably the best thing to do, because what I do is I put them on my YouTube, and then I put the link to my YouTube in my school classroom, and then it's accessible. So if you want to join the school classroom, it's free. I can send you the link for that, and then the archives are in there. I haven't finished uploading everything, but if you specifically want the one from the week prior, because I know we've gone back and forth on email about that, so I do apologize. Again, hence the reason I really want to be more impeccable with my word. And that's going to be my organization as well. That's I'm the first to admit that I really want to work on my organizational skills and keeping my word to myself. So having the um the right plans in place, like timing and saying, okay, I'm going to do this, and having that inspired action and just getting it done, and not letting other things be more important, not letting, the painting isn't as important as keeping my word and sending these videos out,
Yeah, yeah. If you want, I don't mind joining your school classroom if that's what you called it, or if you want to send the link, whatever's easiest for you. But yeah, I'd love to see the week before last. And
Okay.
because I'm stuck on like the domain. I have my domain name, but I might do multiple courses. And I'm thinking I should probably have a generic domain. That way I can put multiple courses under it. So like, those are kind of the things I get stuck on. And like, I don't know who to talk to about those things. Like I'm trying to watch all the videos in the mastermind, but sometimes a specific question like that comes up and it's like, ooh, I don't want to keep going and then have to go back and change this. So like, you know, I don't know, like, yeah.
Okay. Well, and if I can help, by all means, I mean, you can text me or you can email me. I don't know if you've got my phone number, but you're more than welcome to text or email me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you want to give me your phone number?
Here, I'll just type it in.
Okay. Thank you. This was awesome. I love what you said about, why don't we show up for ourselves? Why don't we commit? We commit to everybody else,
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
but
And I mean, and
ourselves.
it's a learned behavior. That's the thing. I mean, it's like we learn how to um either hold ourselves back or you know basically be a lesser version of ourselves, because as children we want to be out there, we want to get attention, we want to make our parents proud of us, or we want to fit in, and we have all these desires, and we're so connected to source, and we're so childlike, and we're so loving, and we have all these things going on. But adults, as we get older, it's almost like our life force almost drains from us, and we get into this systematized mechanical behavior as an adult, where we think we have to be this way, or we think we have to be stern, or we have to live this lifestyle, and all of a sudden the joy is on the back burner. It's like, what happened to wanting to be happy? What happened to wanting to just live in the moment? What happened to wanting to laugh and appreciate what's going on in our lives? And so it's for children, we tend to say, okay, quiet down, okay, that's enough, all right, don't be what your imagination's running away with you, what are you doing, like we're constantly questioning children and their behaviors. And so it's important that not only are we putting ourselves in check and keeping our word to ourselves, but that we're not teaching younger generations to buffer themselves, because that we tend to stifle children and not let them have their creativity. And that's kind of what happened to all of us. At some point somebody said, oh, well, that was stupid, why did you do that? Or something didn't work out and you feel stupid, like, oh my gosh, why did I make that decision, why did I make that choice? And again, if we take one step back, just even a half a step back, and look at it as an observer, as opposed to this is who I am, I make horrible decisions, my life sucks, and this is in all the doom and gloom which so many people get stuck in. If we could take a step back and go, wow, okay, that decision didn't get me exactly what I wanted, how could I be better? Like, how could I make a different decision and get a different result? And really, if we take that emotion out of it, that's what it comes down to, is just taking actions, either buying into the result or not buying into the result, and being happy with the result or not being happy with the result, and going, okay, how can I continue that? Or how can I do something different? So, I mean, and it's simplistic, but we tend to, like, we will do, like, I'll speak for myself. Like, if there's something I don't want to do that I have to do, like my taxes or picking up, dog crap in the backyard, or I will do 1,000 other things that I don't even need to do before I go and do the one thing that takes probably 20 minutes of my life. If I would just go and do it, it would be done. And we find ways to, like, I mean, even going to the gym, like, literally I put my stuff in my bag ahead of time, and that way in the morning I just get up and go. I mean, I've gotten to the point where before, if I really think that I'm tired from the night before, I'll wear my gym clothes to bed. And that way I wake up, I'm already in my clothes. And I'm just like, okay, I got to be there at 9:15. So I got to go. And I just jump in the car, and sometimes I don't even know what I'm going to do that day, what workout, but I mean, if I'm at the gym, something's going to happen. So Well, we went a little over today, but excellent topic of discussion. Thank you so much for all of your beautiful contribution. Thank you for being here. And Lily, I will definitely get that video over to you from 2 weeks ago because it was really valuable, really good content.
That's awesome. Thank you. And this was an awesome meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, ladies, well, have an amazing day. I'm going to stop recording for now. I will see you again next Wednesday. Make your life the way you want it and keep your word to yourself. Have a valuable week. And I love y'all.
Thank you. You too.